this year. Going to be different. There you go. I'm doing it already. I'm publicly saying things that aren't going to happen.
Well, I suppose you could say that that's almost a no-brainer. I'm already halfway there.
Well, it was a no-brainer at the time.
And I will hold my hands up and say I only picked 2 tiers and I still didn't do any of them.
The next few ones, though, I have no real excuse for. So we can get into them and you can absolutely destroy me about these because I don't really know why these And I quote, Combat Patrol, non-negotiable. That will be done. It's very grimdark, like makes 40k look, you know, like My Little Pony.
Did we achieve our 2024 Warhammer goals?
Well. Hi guys, welcome to another episode of the Sprue Goons Podcast with me, Dickie, and the Sprue Goons gaffer, Darren. Unfortunately this week it's just us ugly hobby morons. We've got no guests this week. We thought a bit of a palate cleanser, go through basically our 2024, I think. But before we get onto that, how you been, Darren?
Yeah, I've been good. I've had a nice break over Christmas and feel like we're whether we've achieved what we wanted to last year, we're going into 2025 with good intentions.
Yeah, like last year, you mean?
Yeah,
exactly. We're looking at the list of how our 2024 was planned and how it actually went. I think it's going to be a bit of a brutal one for us this episode.
Yeah, but bit of an eye opener.
Shall we get on to hobby nonsense then?
Yeah.
So, I don't really know, really. For me, I suppose, what have I been up to? What have I been up to in the new year? It's been a bit quiet for me. I'm still hobbying, but I feel like, I think I've said before in the past, when I kind of have a bit of a break from the hobby, you know, like family, Christmas, summer holidays, that kind of thing, I almost kind of, don't know, I think I've said to you before, I switch it off in my head and it takes a while to get going again, the hobby. So what have I been doing? I can't even remember. I've done some Ark World. I'm kind of chipping away at that.
Yep.
Finished my undead warband that I had for Ark World. I've also been chipping away at my Ogre Tribes spearhead for Age of Sigmar.
Yeah.
Well, I say chipping away. I've built a few. I've been working on a test model. I kind of, don't know, at the moment, the year started slow for me. I'm kind of just quite hobby butterfly. I'm enjoying just taking my time, doing a bit, having a bit of a break.
Dipping in, dipping out.
Yeah, that's what she said. Also, it makes no sense.
It makes sense.
Oh, it makes sense. If you know, you know. What? I've also got a bit obsessed with Marvel Rivals on the PC, which I think everyone and their dog has been playing Marvel Rivals, although you didn't even know it was a thing. No. So I was like, oh, Darren, have you heard
My dog doesn't know either.
No, he doesn't know. You could tell about your dog, actually, what happened. What have you said about that? Was that?
Yeah.
God, that was a bit of a...
I don't know. I think it was, wasn't it? Just before Christmas.
Yeah. We've gone off track already. But I've been playing Marvel Rivals. Got a bit obsessed with that. It's just Overwatch 1, but they've taken Overwatch 1 and made a better version, in my opinion. And if obviously the Marvel IP helps, I'm quite partial to a bit of Marvel. So I've been playing a bit of that, like I said, and then just hobbying, been quite nice actually. No real kind of pressure onto, I've got to get this paint, I've got to get it. It's at the end of the day, it's a hobby. You're meant to enjoy it, take your time. And I am at the moment. Obviously, that will probably change as the year progresses and something else comes up that I need to get painted. But I would like to finish my Ogre Spearhead, and I've got my eye on the Iron Jaws Spearhead. Quite enjoying Spearhead at the moment, so I'd quite like to get that. I like the fact that you can get some Games Workshop models. And you have between 10 and 20 models to paint. Yeah. And you've got an army that you can play a game with. I like that. So that's kind of it for me. I think nothing really.
And you're thinking, because we're going up to a hobby day.
Yes, I was going to get to that after yours, Darren. You just jumped the shark if you like.
Well, that's part of the reason why you're getting your ogres done.
I would. We are, as of time of recording, the following weekend, we are going to Hemel Hempstead to a friend of ours. He's holding a kind of gaming hobby day.
Yeah.
You go up, you just play lots of different games, bring up your games you want to play, you get a table and you just game all day. Can't wait for it. It's going to be great. It's right after our birthday. We both share the same birthday, which is weird.
Yeah.
But so it's kind of like our birthday treat. We're going to go up there, we're going to play some games all day, meet up some friends. It's going to be great. Can't wait for it. So I've got my Sylvaneth Spearhead ready to go. I've got half of the Ogre More Tribes spearhead built, but because what I normally like to do is, like I think I've said before, I like to take a part out, paint it. Because if I see it all on the table, it kind of scares me a bit. But I'm thinking what I might do over the week is just build it all. Even if it's not built and cleaned, it's just ready to be used. And then we can take it up there. And if you think, oh, we've had a game with the Sylvaneth, I'd like to try the Ogres. Or if you want to, I'll try the Ogres.
Yeah, mix and match.
So might take them up and we can just try that out, because that leads me nicely onto what Darren's been doing.
So Dickie's fully got me on the spearhead train.
Yeah.
So
dragged you on. You are coming on.
Yeah. So I've been I feel like I've been getting on with it.
You have.
At my kind of normal pace. But so I bought a Seraphim spearhead, which some of you guys might have seen on Instagram, and
always been a bit partial to the dinosaur, haven't you?
Oh yeah. But so spent last weekend building it, and then weather for spraying's been absolutely shocking.
Yes, it has. Yeah.
But I've sprayed them today actually in the loft with a mask. It smells
great in here right now. You can't smell it, but it smells like rattle can paint smell. I love it. I love that. It makes me feel like I'm in a hobby shop walking. Oh yeah.
So they're all sprayed up. I've started painting a test model, which
it's looking cool.
Yeah, it's been quite sort of exciting. My plan is for them to really pop, like really push the contrast and go like crazy bold colours.
That's kind of the great thing with Spearhead, again, from my opinion, because you're not painting a big 2,000 point army. You've got 14 models in there. Admittedly, one of them is a Carnosaur, but you've got 14 models, but you can really like go to town on them. Yeah. You've got it built, you can play it, and you can really take your time and enjoy painting them. Croxigores are massive as well. The new ones, I've never seen them in person. They're absolutely huge.
Like probably 3-4 times the size of a Saurus.
Yeah.
They're absolutely massive.
They look brilliant though. But yeah, you've anything else I don't think that's kind of what you've been working on really, isn't it?
Yeah, I did the little the Arab guy from Zombicide.
Oh yes, Asim.
But that was actually, I looked on my camera, that was actually last year.
Oh well, technically it doesn't count then.
Exactly. So
was that last year?
Yeah, between Christmas and New Year.
God.
That's kind of what I've been working on. Haven't been able to sort of push out much content recently, but that's sort of just been other bits going on, and you getting me in Spearhead.
Well, I did kind of not tell you off, but I did kind of say, don't worry about Instagram, but do something for yourself. Yeah. Do something that you want to do. Do a bit of hobby for you rather than, because I know you're always worried about that kind of creep of I'm only doing it for content.
Yeah.
So I was like, put that aside for like a few weeks. Build the Spearhead, even if it takes you the rest of the year to paint it. You've got it built. You can play it.
Yeah.
Providing you like the game, you might play the game and.
No, we've played the game, haven't we?
Yes, we played it.
You've played
it. Played it at Warhammer.
I trust you.
Well, speaking of, I've actually got a game of Spearhead tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was going to say about that. Yeah, my other Warhammer friend, he messaged me this morning. Oh, do you want a game of Spearhead tomorrow? Yes, I do. Bearing in mind we're going up at the weekend, so I was like, that's good to get.
Yeah,
get the reps in.
Absolutely smash. Yeah.
I don't know about that.
So, who are you taking your Sylvaneth?
Sylvaneth, because the ogres aren't built yet. I want to. I'm not sure. He's either going to be Stormcast, Skaven, or it could be cities. But I've heard that in Spearhead, don't know about full AOS, but in Spearhead, they're not very good. They're quite weak.
Okay.
So I don't think he'll take. He's a bit of a gamer. He likes to.
You should be like, I really think you should take his
cities.
I want to see how they play.
Yeah.
Just absolutely table him.
Well, he'll probably still table me. He's that good. I'm a painter, not a player. I like playing, but he's definitely a better gamer than me. So I think he'll take Skaven because he trounced me. He won by a point last time, so I'll take that. Losing by a point, it's like, yeah, fine. It's when you get, like beaten 20 points and you're like, oh God. But yeah, I kind of want to play the Sylvaneth a few more times to get used to how they play. Because obviously the first game was kind of learning how they play, what they do. Whereas now I know kind of going in how to play them. They're all very, very healy and moving. They're quite cool. So yeah, that's my plan tomorrow. What to say about that? Yeah, game of Spearhead tomorrow, and then
nice.
Spearhead. We're going to take some Arcworld up to the gaming event, aren't we?
Yep.
he's a big Artworld player, the guy who's organising it. So he's going to take some Artworld up. I think he also said he was taking some Moonstone.
Bit Moonstone,
Shatterpoint, Trench Crusade, which do you know?
I heard quite a bit about that.
Yeah, they did a massive Kickstarter. It's by the people that used to work for Games Workshop. I can't remember all of them, but it's very grimdark. Like makes 40k look, like My Little Pony. It's very, very grim, but it looks cool. Whether or not there's anything more to it than grimdark, though, if you know what I mean. But I'd be interested to see how it plays. Maybe
is it meant to be a 40k?
No, it's set after the Crusades.
Right.
So the Crusades never stopped.
Right. Okay.
And then a portal to hell opens, as it does.
Like you do, yeah.
And it's got like demons in it, and then the Crusaders are still going around. It's what's that word? I can't say it. Oh, I'll cut this
Byzantine.
out. That's it. Empire.
Yeah.
They're in it. That kind of thing. So it's kind of, we'll probably find more about it on the weekend, but yeah, it looks quite cool. I'd be interested to see how it plays, and I know it's got lots of models that you can 3D print, and I think it's model oh my god, I can't talk tonight. Model agnostic.
Yeah.
So you can use anything any models you want.
Yeah, I've heard it's quite sort of a bit more relaxed, I guess.
So that'd be interesting to see how that plays. But yeah, I think that's kind of all we've been up to, really. Not much. Started the new year, for me anyway, relatively slow, but
I think so. Yeah, I'm kind of thinking. Yeah, there's not really anything else. That's kind of like Spearhead, because I'm kind of like, if I'm going to get something like a Spearhead done, I have to be sort of head down and focused on it. Otherwise, it will just sort of disappear into the noise, which we'll get on to.
Yeah, I was going to say, we'll talk about the noise later. It's been very, looking back over last year's plans, it's a bit embarrassing.
But a noisy year.
Yeah. But, okay, we'll get on it later. But that kind of, for me, that's kind of 2025. That's kind of what I want to aim for, kind of more.
Don't say anything that's quotable on the next year's one.
Don't write anything down or send any messages about anything.
Bearing in mind, I'll just remind you that the episode that we talked about our goals last year was called The Importance of Focus. So just let that sit.
What's this episode going to be called then? The importance of not listening to what you say.
Yeah.
Yeah, fine. Also as well, I think it was last week, Games Workshop had a LVO preview. Can't remember it all off the top of my head what they had, but I know there was some 40k stuff. Probably going to offend a lot of 40k players, but I can't remember for the life of me.
Some 40k stuff.
Can't really remember.
And Emperor's Children, big.
Yes, that was it.
Right. Loads of Emperor's Children stuff. There wasn't actually huge amounts more than that for 40k.
Not really.
That was the big one.
What's your thoughts on that? Throw you under the bus first.
What, the Emperor's Children? I don't know, I quite like the Noise Marines. They look cool.
Yeah, it's all right. I think you have to kind of be into that kind of faction to start off with. For me, it's a bit.
I think they look cool. I wouldn't do them, but I think
that, to be fair, that's probably kind of carries across the whole preview for us, really. Like the vampires or Soulblight Gravelords for AOS. Yeah, cool. I like the vampire on the dragon. That was really cool. But
yeah, and I like the vampire count on the horse. Yeah. That's cool.
But in general, cool models. Again, Games Workshop, we know they're going to be great models, but there's nothing really there that gets me going. Nothing really interests me. Like, oh my God, I need to paint that. As nothing really. Want them to release, AOS, the Dark Elves for AOS. Malekith and his Shadow Elves. Where are they? It's been like 8 years. I want my Dark Elves in AOS.
They're not even on the
coming soon. They're not. It's been 8 years. Though. Oh, what for Old World? Yeah,
that's
Old World was quite cool. The High Elf release. I never played High Elves. So I was a Dark Elf man, but seeing the High Elves does make me feel like a 14-year-old child again. Like, oh my God, I love them.
I always remember when we obviously
I know what the story is.
Yeah, but my kind of child, I think when I got into it and felt like a child, I was probably 21. So, but when we first got into it and went up to Wayland Games for the very first time.
Oh my God, yeah.
And they had that massive, people were having a game, and it was High Elves, Skaven.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant. And that was at the back end of of it. Although I think it was when Island of Blood was out. You know, it's current.
Yeah, but that was like the last one.
But it was, it feels like a different lifetime now. You know, having where they've actually gone and taken it since then.
Don't get me wrong. There's a few old world armies that I am very tempted by. I love a lot. I went to a hobby shop at the weekend, just gone yesterday, and they had lots of old world there. And they had like the Goblin, Orc and Goblin one. I love Orc and Goblin.
I do like the Orc one, to be fair. All the balls.
Yeah,
as well.
They had Bretonian one there. They had the Tomb King one. I'm not really keen on Tomb Kings, but just looking at the army, I'm like, I'd love
Tomb Kings.
I'd love to have that in the cupboard, just as an army. If they did the Dark Elf one, I would just buy the box and store it, so I've got it. But they're not supporting Dark Elf. High Elf and Wood Elf get the love, but Dark Elf don't. I'm not bitter at all. Bastards. But yeah, I don't know where we've gone off there. But yeah, that was
the Las Vegas Open. Yeah, I don't think they had. Yeah, they probably had a few other releases. Fulgrim's had a big release. That wasn't at the Open.
That was Christmas Day, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's again great sculpt, but
I thought he just looked exactly the same as the one they released before.
I think the one that he released before was the Forge World version.
Yeah.
I think this is a plastic kit. I think. Don't quote me.
No, I think you're right. But it still looks the same.
Yeah, it doesn't really do it for me. But yeah.
But then, I would say, 40k.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong, I love 40k, and I watched the, I don't know if I mentioned it last time, I watched the Amazon Prime show, and I painted a Marine, I painted a Dragon Spears, which is a Salamander successor chapter, just because after watching that, I was like, I want to paint a Marine. But yeah, I'm not going to play 40k, which probably leads us nicely to what we want to talk about.
Right. Let's get to the meat of the episode, and there is a lot of meat.
That's how I'm not enjoying it. I'm not looking forward to this.
There's a lot of meat on this bone.
Oh. That's what she said. That makes more sense.
So, did we achieve our 2024 Warhammer goals?
Well,
so
So what we thought we would do, as it's the new year and retrospective and all that, we thought we'd take a little while and look back at what we kind of wanted to achieve last year and what we actually did.
Yeah.
And I'll give you spoilers now. We did achieve more than I thought we did last year, but I don't really think we achieved what we kind of said we would, or promised we would.
Well, the interesting thing is that we had, I suppose we've got the luxury that we had an episode where we actually publicly said this is what we were going to do. Well, it was really interesting to go back and look at that because I'd forgotten most of it. And I think that's sort of, it's, kind of on that, whether goals and things are important. I think they sort of are, but it probably is a good idea to.
Yes.
I think it's just testament to how much we do butterfly and change and shift focus so much.
It's always been our problem. I feel like, not blaming. Well, I'll take the blame for it because I feel like I've said before, but because I've been in the hobby longer, I've been around Warhammer since I was 14. So for me, something new comes out. Look at this, Darren. I kind of like grab Darren by the scruff of the neck. Come on, we're going to go and play this now. Oh, okay. Yeah. Whereas I think if Darren had his own way, he'd probably quite happily just stay in the Warhammer bubble.
Just crack through a spearhead, next one.
Yeah, I think you would. Whereas I'm kind of like, ooh. But
in a good way, though.
I do feel like, we'll get to it, but this year's going to be different. There you go. I'm doing it already. I'm publicly saying things that aren't going to happen. I think we...
So, I'll start.
You're itching to do this, aren't you?
Because this was a quote.
You're going to start with that
from... No, I think not necessarily a quote, but this was from your mouth.
Yeah.
Which is that in 2024, we will both get a combat patrol painted and have a game at Warhammer World. That was quite a strong one. You were saying it's a bit of a dream of yours to have a game at Warhammer World.
And it still is. It is. But I'm also going to add your comment to that. And I quote, combat patrol, non-negotiable. That will be done. So, firstly, as you can probably imagine from how we're reacting, that hasn't happened.
No.
But I got very close with my Drakari one. I literally had the Raider and Ravager to do, and they were built, primed, ready to go. Darren, again, all built. You had some testers done, you had some models done.
Yep.
We played it. Don't listen to this bit, Games Workshop. But we found Combat Patrol like pulling teeth. Didn't enjoy it. We got 2.5, 3 hours in, and we were like, "This is meant to be quick and easy," and this is
It didn't help that one of the models I did paint got shot off the table on the first turn
by Ravager or Radar. I can't remember. Ravager, I think.
Yeah.
But I think again that kind of brings me back to the rules of the game not being that good because it wasn't balanced for smaller games. The fact that I could bring something off and shoot your thing off in one turn. It's like they took Combat Patrol, went into AOS and did Spearhead. And Spearhead, again, it's not completely balanced. I don't think it's kind of designed to be perfectly balanced, but it's a lot more balanced than Combat Patrol ever was, Spearhead. I feel like I've had a couple of games and both games have been incredibly close. Last game was 1 point in it. So it's like, that's fair enough. But we played Combat Patrol and we just didn't really enjoy it. So that's kind of, in my defence, my kind of,
No, I think that is a fair defence, and I think, how far do you go? If you're, we don't really like the game. No, we must finish the Combat Patrol. I think we were sort of, I've still got mine.
Yeah. In hindsight, I feel like we could have tried.
I probably shouldn't have.
No.
Because I'm not going to do anything with it, but.
In hindsight, we probably should have tried one-page rules or some other system with those models, but it kind of soured it for me. I think we played it, I was like, oh, this isn't very good. I'm not really enjoying this.
One thing I would say, though, is your Drakari looked incredible.
Yeah, but then your Tyranids did that you did. The ones you painted.
I think the schemes we picked, the idea behind it.
Yeah, the idea is always the good thing, isn't it? But
as in, like, we are painters, and I think we set a gaming goal as painters.
Yes, that's true, we do, which is weird.
So it's kind of like...
You've got to get this painted so we can play it. Why?
Yeah.
It's almost, in a way...
Because we actually did do quite well at the painting bit of it.
I think, though, in a way, coming into Spearhead, how we have, is in the right way.
Yeah.
Because we're both kind of... I've already got a Sylvan F1 fully painted, but it was 10 models, and I really, really enjoy painting it. So it's kind of... But for you, at least, get it built, get it primed, get it ready to paint, and play it. And if you love it, and you enjoy it, then you'll paint it. And if you don't, then, I feel like rather than trying to set that gaming goal with, we've got to get it all painted because we've got a game with it fully painted. But
one thing we could say is we could set a goal, which is we want to play a game of Spearhead.
Yeah, that's...
Both have a fully painted Spearhead and play it at Warhammer World.
Well, I'm done. Come on, Darren.
Yeah, but
yeah, I know what
is
you mean.
that
a
realistic goal?
That's a realistic goal, but let's not say anything publicly. Not after last year. So how do you want to do this? Should we go through what we kind of wanted to get done, and then how we got there?
So at the end of the episode, we sort of we kind of tried to sum up, which was sort of like a tier list of what, going from most important to least important, what your sort of concentration was going to be on in 2024.
That sounds very organised for us. I don't remember doing that at all. Oh, wow.
So
that's what the gaffer does, see, when you get involved, you make sure it gets done properly.
So, yeah, I mean, we'll do a bit of tennis. We won't go through all of your list first then, roast you all at once.
We could just get it out of the way.
Yeah. But no, S tier. So absolutely most important. We both had Combat Patrol. Makes sense because we called it 20/20/40K and we went balls in.
Oh God, we did. Oh God, that's embarrassing. Don't remind me. I forgot about that. We gave away a Combat Patrol to get people in on it, didn't we? Oh God. Now
I bet that's painted.
Yeah, that's probably been painted and done, used, and sitting on the shelf. I'll talk about it.
And then I had a joint S tier, so my joint was Combat Patrol and YouTube. Now I feel like I wouldn't say I feel like that's kind of failed a bit as well, but I'd say my intention really was probably long format YouTube. Yeah. So in that sense, it didn't quite pan out. But we had Contrast Corner wasn't a thing. No. So that kind of came along and that's been quite successful on YouTube. So yeah, YouTube has done okay, but not in the way that I thought it would.
It's a tough nut to crack though.
Yeah.
YouTube, it really is. So trying to make you feel better.
Yeah, it's working a little bit.
Oh, good.
And then, so that was our absolute top priority. And then A tier is probably a strange one. I'd say this is even stranger than Combat Patrol.
I'm looking at it now thinking, why was that A tier? Because we were kind of, you say what it was.
So A tier, in a nutshell, was Star Wars Legion. And we were both working, it was Star Wars Legion for both of us, but for different reasons. So Dickie was working on Vader's 501st list, which is sometimes called Vader's Fist. So we called it the Fist list. And you were about halfway through.
Yeah.
You know, you were cracking on with it. So I think, it was probably at the point where you couldn't really see yourself not finishing that. No. You know, it was quite a concise idea of, I just want to do this small skirmish.
It was a skirmish level,
And what did you actually have to do on that?
I had to do another 7 stormtroopers for a unit and 2 speeders. So not a lot, but...
Well, I suppose you could say that that's almost a no-brainer. I'm already halfway there.
It was a no-brainer at the time, but I think, again, excuses are coming out now, but AMG have massively they're overhauling Legion. New rule book, new model line, new core sets. So for us, I think we've all collectively, because me, Darren and my brother, we love Legion, but we've all kind of collectively agreed that it gets shelved for now until they kind of... all the new stuff's out, all the new models are out, the new rule book. It's all kind of once the dust has settled and everything's out, like the new Vader model, the new Luke model, the new Stormtrooper model. Once it's all out, here's Legion by AMG, 2.0. Then we've already all agreed we're going to dive head first, balls deep.
Yeah, to be honest, I know I
just destroyed me there.
Yeah, but I don't blame you that wasn't an A tier for this year, or for last year. I'm not, like you just said, I'm not sure. I think we hadn't anticipated sort of like the drop in interest in Legion. Maybe I don't feel like we were on the crest of a wave.
No,
but maybe we were, because we were playing skirmish.
Yeah, maybe we were on the.
But that leads on to my A tier, which was also Legion. So
a super commando list.
Which would be brilliant.
Which is still, they're relatively new models, but we don't know where Legion's going at the moment.
Well, we're not playing it.
No, but I think once it's re-released, I'd like to. You're working on your board. Imagine playing Legion on this.
That's kind of, partly.
So that would be, that's okay. It didn't really go many places last year, but I definitely feel once that is released to a stage where they've got the new core set, the new rule book, the new models, the new, everything, then we would probably be straight back into Legion, because I absolutely love Legion.
Yeah, it's probably up there as one of my favourite games to play.
I've still got my Empire army. It's all sitting there ready to go, but we're just not playing. And again, like you said, in 6 months' time, we don't know what that list is going to be usable, if it's going to be, there's a new version model of that, and I'm a tar, and I'd like the newest models, and I'd rather start again with the new models and rules than...
I feel like your Empire army is currently setting a record.
Yes, it is. Yeah, I've had it for what?
Fully painted army.
For like 2 years, 3 years? I can't remember how long we've had it.
Yeah.
But I have no intention or want to get rid of it. I'm like, no, that's my Legion. That's my,
It's impressive.
That tells you something about the game. The fact that I'm like, no, that's not going anywhere, because I love it. Which is why I'd like to do a newer version. My painting skills have improved. I'd take more time on it, knowing that I could use my old army to play the game while I'm working on a nicer army.
Yeah.
So, okay, Legion didn't go where we wanted it to, but it doesn't mean Legion's off the table this year. Not at all. I just kind of want to wait and see what happens with it.
No, Legion's kind of, we've said before about our hobby solar system.
Oh, it's,
He's still circling. It's still there, but it's kind of... Uranus.
Yeah, no, it's not Uranus. I would say like maybe some other ones are Uranus, but
Saturn.
Yeah, Saturn, Jupiter, something like that. But yeah, it's still in the solar system, but it's not gone.
No.
The next few ones though, I have no real excuse for, so we can get into them, and you can absolutely destroy me about these, because I don't really know why these.
Well, so the episode we were kind of I suppose we were talking about things like big picture.
Yeah, what we'd like to.
I think a lot of the time we're too use the phrase a lot at work, but like hand to mouth. Yes. It's I'm really interested in that now and I want to do that now. Whereas I think when we actually had an episode, which was what do you want to achieve, and you've got a year to do it, you kind of look back and you're like, I'm suggesting things like, I'd quite like to do bolt action.
Yeah.
Even if there's no intention or no, you'd never even thought about it. It'd be like if you said like, I'd quite like to do a Song of Fire and Ice. You think, oh, that's weird. That came out of nowhere. But it's because you're thinking, well, actually, in the next year, I would like to. But so this is where this one comes from. And I think, and this has been on the back burner for a long time, but your B tier was Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. And again, they've re-released the rules again. So in a way, I'm kind of glad we didn't get too far into it because we'd have to re-bowl the rule. But God, you wouldn't, last year, we wouldn't have known when they were going to re-release it. But I think that one for me, controversial hot take live on the podcast, I feel like that one's left my solar system. I'm not really bothered about doing Lord of the Rings. Sorry.
Better sell my models then.
Yeah, you better. Don't get me wrong. If you had an army done, I'd probably, go on then. But for me personally.
An army.
Why you do this?
No, I think you're right. If I was, right, I've done my spearhead, I'm going to do Fellowship of the Ring now. You'd probably be like, right.
It'd come back in.
What can I?
It would float back into the solar system. But right now,
no.
For me, I have no desire, I'm not going to push that we try and do that one. I'm just trying to make excuses for my failings, but
yeah, no, that's fair. And I will sort of back you up in that I copped out a bit on the tier listing because I listed my S and I listed my A, but then I kind of, because it was quite sensible of me at the time, but because I do quite a lot for content, I was sort of outwardly saying I don't want to do an A, B, C, D, E. I know that, yes, there's a couple of things I'd like to achieve. And I will hold my hands up and say I only picked 2 tiers and I still didn't do any of them.
Yeah, at least I've done none.
No, you have done some of them. We'll get down to like the absolute least important one.
The dregs. Yeah, which is weird because it's kind of my list has almost flipped on its head.
Yeah. So we said at the start of last year, Old World was due to come out.
Yes.
But we didn't have pricing yet.
No.
So the caveat was if it comes in and it's reasonably priced, then it would be C tier. But I think it was a case of if we both actually got into it, I don't know why we were saying this, but if we both got into it, it would obviously become...
I don't know why we say a lot of things.
The S tier, wouldn't it? You wouldn't buy an Old World set and then say, I bought the Old World set, but I'm doing combat, which it would trump everything. So
for me now, as things are now, a year after, I don't think the pricing's great because it's Games Workshop. Their pricing's never going to be great, but I don't think it's awful. I don't know if I'm wrong. I don't know if I'm going to get shot down for that, but I don't think it's terrible.
It's doable.
For me, the Old World is still in the solar system. It's just because it pulls at the nostalgia. I can't help it. I know what they're doing. Bastards are just re-releasing 25-year-old models, but I can't help it. I want them. So, and I've got another friend who is Gary, the guy that, shout out to Gary, he's the guy that got me into Warhammer. And he literally messaged me 2 days ago saying about the Old World. Oh, we should get into the Old World like the old times. And I'm like, don't do this to me, Gary. Stop it.
Thing is, that's an old friend that you used to play the Old World with as well. That's
exactly.
That's double.
So it's double nostalgia. So he has said he's currently moving, but once he moves, he's waiting for the Wood Elves to get released and then he would jump in. And although my precious Dark Elves aren't being supported or followed, there's a few armies that they have released that I still love. I love the Orc and Goblins, I love the Dwarves, I love Bretonnians. Controversially, I'm actually warming to the Empire as well.
That is controversial.
I think ever since Arkworld and your humans, you did your Imperials, and there was another game we played, and I quite liked the human faction, and I thought think I'm starting to warm to the kind of normal,
the appeal.
Yeah, the appeal of the human. I'm starting to get it. I'm not saying I'd pick them over like dwarves or elves, but I get it a bit more. So I'm not gonna tie myself down and say that Old World's happening this year. But yeah, let's see. It might happen this year, depending on what else comes up. And
thing is, I would be tempted to do, even though High Elves are coming out.
Thing is, I think High Elves would be absolutely stunning to look at on an army, but on a table. But painting them would be a bit of a slog, I think. Yeah, lots of white, lots of bright.
Whereas
colours.
Tomb Kings,
you could, if you didn't care, you just want to get them painted ready for a game. Yeah, you could get them done easily. Get a unit done in a weekend easily. If you would like really
spray them white, skeleton horde through the airbrush.
Yeah,
done.
Yeah, if you really dry brush it. Yeah, dry brush them with if you really want to do it quick. But you know what we're like, it never happens like that. But if you went into it with that kind of mentality. But yeah, like Darren was saying, is this my D tier or was it just my D tier?
It wasn't a D tier, it was sort of not really in a tier, but I put D because it was below C. But
ironically, this is the one that's pretty much taken over last year, I think. Pretty much. Yeah, so it was more Ark World and smaller games.
Yeah.
And
skirmish games.
And to be honest, last year it was all skirmish games. It was Ark World, Shatterpoint, and the arse end of the year going into this year, Spearhead. All smaller level games, less to paint. So that one I do feel like I've accomplished.
I feel like you've sort of excelled yourself on that one.
And everything else has fallen by the wayside.
It's interesting though, isn't it? Looking back and thinking, how much it changes, what's important. Yeah. But yeah, so that's kind of the looking forward. So looking forward from last year. So
you've done quite an interesting list here, which I didn't know you were going to do, but you've actually compiled what we did get done. Yeah. Which is actually, we always, I don't know about every hobbyist, but I feel a lot of hobbyists give themselves a bit of a hard time. I didn't get much done. But when we've actually sat down and looked through the list of what we've got done, it's actually, I think, quite impressive.
Surprising amount.
So how are we going to do? You're going to tennis this as well? One for you, one for me, one for you, back and forth?
Yeah, so, yeah. Well,
the first one for both of us.
Yeah, which we've already kind of covered. So Combat Patrol, we didn't completely fail. We did do some.
Yep, so, I nearly finished mine, so... Yeah,
you did, most of the Drakari Combat Patrol.
Yeah, I did all of it, bar the Ravager and Raider, but they were built and primed and ready to go.
I did 10 Termagants, the Winged Prime.
Did you do all 10?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
There's 20.
Oh. Why do you say that?
That's a problem. 10 Termagants, couple of Barbagonts.
Yep, the Wing Prime, yeah.
The Wing Prime. Yeah. So, if I had to finish it, I'd be doing the Psychophage, the big boy, which would be really fun to paint, I think. Yeah. It was a really fun colour scheme to do, which was sort of why it was annoying that we didn't really get into the game, because I think we would have rolled on then. I think we would have done that Combat Patrol, maybe like you've done with Spearhead, picked up another one. But, and then the Leapers. I didn't do either, but there's only 3 of them. They would have been cool to paint.
Yeah.
So this isn't something you painted, but you did get an airbrush.
I did get an airbrush, and I got 2, didn't I?
Yeah.
Got the first one, and it was absolute dog, and then I got an Ultra 2024 Steambeck one. I thought it was called.
The Ultra 2024?
Yeah. What's it called? Harder and Steambeck. That's it. I couldn't think of make it. What is wrong with me tonight? Yeah, so that's great ever. I've loved using that last year, sorry. Had a few hiccups with it, but in general it's been great getting used to an airbrush. I won't, again, by any means call myself a pro, but
that's got to be on my 2025 list.
That has got to be something you've got to get.
Yeah, it really does.
I mean, non-negotiable, that will be done. There you go. That's your quote. You've got to get an airbrush. So you did a Ring Wraith?
Yeah, did a Warp Miniatures from his Patreon.
Yeah.
It was like a Ringwraiths month, which was it was really cool, really fun to paint. Put like tons of tufts on the base and did like a cool reel and stuff like that. That was fun. You did your Warcry. We tried to get into Warcry.
That wasn't even on the list.
No,
Again, that one's a bit of a weird one for me because we played Warcry and we actually quite enjoyed it.
Yeah, and I have a fully painted Warcry warband,
and
which is rare.
We played it and kind of went, yeah, that was pretty good. Anyway, let's never play that again. What?
But yeah, we've got the Cities of Sigmar and the
Ogres.
Yeah.
You've still got the Cities of Sigmar. Yeah. Have you got them? I'll give them back to you.
I think I might have them, yeah. So yeah, they look really good.
Yeah, got them painted.
You've painted most of them?
Yeah, I think there's one left, but...
Then we both painted... I don't know why this isn't on both of our lists.
Yeah,
it is. Sorry. We both painted something from a sort of Blood Bowl-esque game called Slapshot Showdown, which is like Blood Bowl on ice hockey.
Ice hockey. That was great models. Enjoyed them.
Yeah, really enjoyed doing that. You did a great job on the Frankenstein sort of.
You did your vampire
with the ref. Yeah, really enjoyed that. You did Sparkleberry.
I did quite a bit of Rumble Sam, I thought, last year. Was it just Sparkleberry?
Just Sparkleberry.
Was it just Sparkle?
Yeah.
I
think it was you did a lot the year before. Yeah.
Sparkle, for Rumble Sam. Again, another great game. Just don't play it enough. So
I think Sparkleberry, you'd done all the nights and then Sparkleberry came out. It was like a release
not a hero, a superstar.
Yeah.
I love that model, so I grabbed that. Unicorn. Yeah. Why wouldn't you want that? So then you did, we both done Shatterpoint. Last year, so I keep saying this year. Last year, we actually gave Shatterpoint a proper go.
Yep. Well, you gave it a massive go.
Yeah.
Painting-wise.
And it's a weird one because we painted it all. The models are great. We had a solid month of playing it, so it's not like we didn't play it that much. We played it quite a lot. But I think ultimately for me, I'm not going to talk for Darren, but ultimately for me, it's not Legion. I don't know why. I just love Legion.
If it was Legion on a smaller scale, just take my bank card.
Yeah, it's a great game. Don't get me wrong, and I'm sure there'll be people out there screaming, "Oh, Shatterpoint's much better," but I just preferred Legion. Just like the way Legion played better. I found the rules for Shatterpoint, once you get them, are great, but I found them very hard to get my head around, especially the rule book. The rule book was written awfully.
Yeah. We did have a few, we have played it though.
Yeah,
we did enjoy it.
Yeah, I would definitely say that it's a game that we know, well, maybe not so much now, but at the time we knew the ins and outs of how to play it. We knew, the sneaky tactics and what to do. It wasn't like we were like, oh, we've had 2 games, we don't really know. No, we had probably about a dozen games under our belt. We knew what we were doing. It wasn't like, I don't get this game.
You play the same, crew squad every time. You you get to know how they play, and it was enjoyable. But
good game, but I don't feel like it's a game we're gonna carry on with. Really, I don't think. But nothing wrong with it at all. Great game. Let's have a look. What else was on there? Oh, it's your turn, isn't it? Go on, fire one back.
So, what that you did?
Yeah.
So Stuff Fables.
Yeah. Again, that's all the heroes, the teddy, the toys are painted.
Yeah.
It's basically a Toy Story board game. You've probably heard of it. You Google it. It's good. It's a good game. It's like a co-op kind of dungeon crawler game, but you can play it with kids. But it's got some great like monopose, like plastic models in it. So I painted all the toys and most of the villains. There's like 2 or 3 more to paint. That's all painted. So yeah, I worked on that last year. We played a few games of that. That's quite cool. And then, the big one for you, I suppose, this year, when I think of what you paid last year, I keep saying this year, last year was probably your Arkworld Imperials and your Ogre for the competition.
Yeah, in terms of time investment.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Probably the standout thing for you last year.
Yeah, definitely the Ogre. The thing that you put in the cabinet and think, that looks really good. That's definitely, both really, the Imperials, but specifically the Ogre. Just because that was kind of probably my first ever competition standard.
Yeah.
Or what I would.
And you placed 3rd on your first ever attempt. So, that's brilliant. Is it all painted? All the Imperials are painted. Got fully painted. So when we go up at the weekend, we're both going to have 2 fully painted warbands.
Oh yeah.
Might take my heart. I've got the elves now as well.
Yeah, true.
So I might just take them, chuck them in the box.
Good to give them a go.
Yeah, they're not painted, but we could try them out. So yeah, Arcworld. I think for both of us this year, Arcworld's been a big hit.
Yep.
In terms, we went to the weekend at the end of last year, which was absolutely great, and that really lit a fire under me to get going on some Arcworld. So yeah, I've got the halflings painted. I've got all the undead painted now. Bought the elves. What else have I got? I've got some I've got quite a bit of Arcworld. And I was looking the other day in my cabinet and it's full of Arcworld. One of the shelves just full of Arcworld models. So yeah, great. That's a great game to play. I know I always bang on about how good it is, but it's a really, really good game.
Well, you've not finished it, but the Arachnid Queen is pretty much...
Yeah, that's over halfway there.
Yeah.
Again, you could always take that up the weekend. Maybe just take everything Arcworld. Well, not all of it, because we'll fill it all in.
It'd be good to have that finished for the Weekender.
Oh, this year? Yeah, that will be done. Yeah, 100%.
Because that's that's a cool centrepiece to sort of...
Yeah, no, that'll be done. I thought you meant for this weekend. Oh, I don't know about that, but yeah.
That'll be pushing it.
That's probably, like I said, for me and for you, I think realistically, probably Arcworld's been the standout last year for both of us, really. The amount of stuff we got. That and Shatterpoint for me, because I did a lot of Shatterpoint.
For you, I would say.
I did, 4?
Shatterpoint for you in terms of time investment, quality and quantity.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the most you've painted, I'd say probably the best you've painted. You know, I'm trying to think of others.
It's just a shame really that for me the game, well, not for me, for us, the game wasn't quite as good as we'd hoped. It's good. Again, I know I'm going to get shouted at, but it's a great game. But something about we were talking about, spoke about it a few times. There's something about it that stops us coming back for it. If you know what I mean, we don't know what it is. We can't even put our finger on what it is. But there's something about the game that, we can't.
It just, I don't know. For some reason, it feels a little bit more serious than Legion. I don't know. I don't know why. Like we have a game of Legion, and it's kind of like you sort of get absorbed in like the grand scale of it and the thematic thing of it, you know, especially if you've got the scenery and everything.
Things happen
do you remember when Luke went in there? And I don't get that with Shatterpoint, and I don't know why. It's maybe sort of too, do you remember when Cad Bane shot Darth Maul and he put one strain and a... No, not really.
Yeah.
Because it's not to say it's overly complicated, but it's not kind of...
I would say it's definitely more competitive than Legion.
Yeah.
It came across more competitive to us, I think. Again, we could be talking out of our arse. There'll be people out there that are like,
probably
no, we definitely are. But for us, it just didn't really hit right. Don't know why. But so what else have we got on these lists? Let's have a look. What you got here? Well, also another good thing you've done is your Van Helsing for Arcworld. You did that at the Arcworld weekend.
We did a speed one. So one of the categories is something you paint at the Weekender. So we both painted something. Yeah, and both painted a halfling. Weirdly. Yeah,
I painted the Bowman halfling. It was like the event exclusive model, which again, brilliant model. I saw it, and Alex, the owner of Warp Miniatures, had based it on the sign of the pub where the Weekender was. Yeah. And I just thought, hang on, I'm going to paint it in those colours and chuck it in. Oh, yeah.
Chuck it in and get first.
Chuck it in and get first, you know. Just saying.
No, it was really good.
No, but I did, to be fair, I'm not being like an arrogant prick about it, because I did say to Darren, when we were there painting, I said, I don't really care if I win, because I'm kind of, it sounds a bit corny, but I want to paint it as a memory.
Yeah.
As in, I got this model, event exclusive model at the event. I've painted it in the colours of the place we stayed.
Yeah.
If I don't win anything, I can look at it and go, that's painted in the colours of the place we stayed. You know, it was quite fact it once, but you know, just
I've painted a little bit of Zombicide.
Yes, I haven't done any.
Not much. A couple of characters. Basically just my characters.
More than me. You know. So.
But Cole from Invader, which we've, not really a painting goal, but we finished Zombicide Invader.
And we're on mission 4 now, is it? Or 3 of Green Horde?
4 next time, yeah.
That is, for anyone who knows Zombicide, that is brutal. Green
Hard
Horde.
mode.
Hard. Compared to Invader. Invader was like, you could do it one eye closed, whereas Green Horde is...
Yeah.
It's brutal. It's like the dark... what would we say? It's like the Dark Souls of Zombicide. For us.
Especially when we read the rules last time and we realised that all the
they hit harder than we
orcs,
thought. They hit for 2 rather than 1. It's like, oh my God. For you as well, another thing I think you've been you can't see it's off shot, but your gaming board. I know it's kind of technically not fully yet, but it's something you started last year and it's coming along really well.
It'll probably accelerate. I think again playing, if we did upgrade slightly from Spearhead and go to a 1,000-point game or whatever, that on this board.
Which I think you're not far off with yours, Seraphim. I'm thinking my silver net for about 800 points.
Yeah.
So realistically, you're
just
not...
get Bastillodon.
No, don't do that. Hopefully they're not as bad as they used to be.
Get those snakes out.
Fucking hell.
And then... your Spearheads. And a little nod, Bolt Action, which is a weird one for you. If we'd said... Who's going to paint Bolt Action this year?
Yeah.
You probably wouldn't have nominated yourself.
Painted. I saw, again, shout out to Peachy Tips on YouTube. He did a Bolt Action speed painting tutorial, how to paint some Germans in the snow. It just, again, lit a fire under me. I saw him do it. I was like, that's great. I think I went straight out to the garage because I had Darren's Bolt Action set at the time. I was like, I'm going to paint these Germans. And I did it in 2 days.
Yeah, crazy.
Painted these 12 Germans, snowy base. They were so easy.
Yeah, and they look really good.
They look so good for the time invested. Yeah. It's almost things like that always wind me up. Because I think, we spent hours and hours and hours doing all these little details on models, and then you think, I'll just whip these out quickly and do all the cheat methods and dry brush in and wash it. That looks brilliant. The game looks absolutely brilliant.
It's almost like you need a split personality.
Yeah.
You need when you want to buy a Spearhead, buy 2 and just open one, and literally your aim is just to do it as quick as possible.
Yeah, well, we did that with Legion. We got Legion when we bought it, all those years ago, and we were like, right, we don't care what these look like. We want to play this. Let's get these done. And we both got it done within a month. Yeah,
and it's probably one of our most played games and the one we've most enjoyed.
That said, for me personally, it's just the tart in me, but as time's gone on, I look at the army and I always think, I could do better.
I look at mine and I'm like...
Oh, yeah, don't look at yours.
No.
Because yours now is embarrassing. And that's not an insult to you.
No.
You could...
Well, it's a compliment.
It is an insult to you, but it's a backhanded compliment, because I know now you could... If you redid the Imperial Army now, not Imperial, the Rebel Army now, you would blow that out of the water. When they do re-release...
Well, they were just contrasted, basically.
Yeah.
So...
when they redo the Rebels, you'll do Rebel Army. I'm assuming you'll do Rebels again, but they will look brilliant compared. But then you've got that, like we were saying, you've got that to use in game while you're building up your nicer looking Rebel Army, which is my plan when they eventually redo it. But I think all in all,
it's a pretty rounded out year. I think there are. I wish I'd done a bit more, but one thing that's not on there is everything I've done for Contrast Corner, and that's taken up a huge amount of
and also it sounds
time, really.
Other hobby related things we've done. Shows, board games. We're very board gamey this year. We played lots of board games, which I know isn't hobby and painting, but it's
not. But I think had we played more war games, we might have painted more war games.
Yeah.
Whereas because we've played Zombicide, and I think both of us are kind of on the same page with. It doesn't really. It would be good if it was painted, but it's not a non-negotiable.
No, and it kind of takes the pressure off to play it.
Whereas I don't think we would have played Spearhead week in, week out with unpainted models, but they would have just been painted.
Yeah, I think the difference is with Zombicide, you like you said, you don't really care if it's painted. You still play. Whereas I feel like you play your Seraphim at the weekend and you enjoy it. It's going to almost annoy you that they're not painted. You're going to be like, right, get me home. I'm going to basically book out a week and I'm getting these painted. Do you know what I mean?
Especially if, the Croxagores, they did really well, right? Scrap the Saurus.
They're going to they're going to be brutal.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see how they play. It's going to be interesting. I can't wait for the weekend. Did you get the cards?
Yes.
Yeah, good man.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, good That's good.
Yeah, I'll show you in a bit.
Fine. Cool. But yeah, no, I think that's kind of, like I said, although it's not really kind of what we said we had planned out, we've done well this year.
We've still done a lot. It's just nothing
that we said we did. Apart from Arkwell, that was on my list.
Yeah, true.
But it's okay. New question for you. So it can be recorded for everyone now. Moving forward into 2025, what are your goals? I'm not saying a tier list or, we don't want to tie ourselves down again, but kind of as a kind of for the year, what's your kind of outlook? What would you like to achieve this year?
It's a bit of a weird one because I feel like I haven't really thought about it.
I suppose it is early in the year.
It is early in the year, but, naturally because it's what I'm working on right now and it's where the momentum is right now. I want to get my spearhead done.
Yeah.
That's a bit of an obvious one.
Yeah.
And I do want, whether it happens or not is another thing, but I won't regret saying this. I want a fully workable 4x4 wargaming board and 2 bolt action armies.
See, now the first part, I was going to say that's 100% going to happen because you're almost there. And I'm looking at it now. This is not going to take, even if it takes you the rest of the year, you'll get this done.
Yeah.
2 bolt action armies. That said,
I haven't listed how many points they are.
True. Well, you don't need to. You do 500-point army each side. But to be honest, that I'm not going to tie. This is not me tying myself down to it. But you get this board done. You buy a bolt action army. I would love to do that German winter army that I've always said about. Buy that box for like 100, wherever it is, 100.
Yeah.
And then that's an army that I could work on. And I would do what I did following Peach's guide.
Absolutely.
Just get this done.
Yeah.
Just get this painted. Because I really enjoyed that. It didn't take long. I saw results quickly. And on this board, it will look brilliant. So, that's a good goal to have.
I almost feel like I don't really want to stretch it any further than that.
No.
As in, if I look back and I've got a spearhead done and I've got a bolt action army done and the board done.
That's a good year, really.
That's kind of, because there's reasons. I want to get the spearhead done so we can play it. I want to get the 2 bolt action armies done so that we can play it, but I can also play it with
you've got other friends that play bolt action, and you've always said about maybe trying to get your dad into
exactly
bolt action. So it'd be great to go, dad or your other friends come around. Got a board, got 2 armies. Let's have a game. Yeah, that'd be great. But in a similar vein, I think for me this year, compared to last year with our tier lists and all that, I feel like I'm quite enjoying where I am with the hobby at the moment. At the end of the day, it is a hobby.
Yeah.
And I do have a bit of a tendency to get a bit kind of laser focused on something and spend 2 months solidly painting it and then kind of leaving everyone else around me in the dust when it comes to it, if you know what I mean. Like with Shatterpoint.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've painted 5 crews and all the scenery and all that. What have you done, Darren? I built 1 crew. You know what I mean? Because you haven't got the time to catch, because you've got content to do and other things you're working on. And so I feel like this year I'm quite enjoying the hobby butterfly kind of, like I said, this week I did a bit of my ogres, I painted an Arkwell model, and I just played Marvel Rivals, or I didn't always come rushing back to that. I kind of enjoying that kind of slightly more laid back approach to it. So for me, really, there's not really much I have in my head as to goals, really. I've got a spearhead done. I've got the ogres. If they're not done by this time next year, then I've done something wrong.
Yeah, is that
models.
Yeah, so is that you can't see any reason why you wouldn't paint that ogre spearhead?
No, not really, because it's built. I'm almost in the same position as you. I've built most of it. I've just
you know how they play.
I know how they play, so I'm kind of but then that bit, like you said, I don't want to extend it beyond that too much. I'd like to get them done. Always get a bit more Arkwell done because I love painting Arkwell, and I'd quite like to get the new Iron Jaws spearhead because I just love Iron Jaws and I love the models. But beyond that, there's not really much else that I'd like to, that I would really enjoy to. Again, I don't want to tie myself down to too much this year, but there's also I've got the Marvel United board game.
Yep.
And I really love painting those Marvel
United. Not on there either.
I've only painted one. So I wouldn't even bother, but I really like the models from that, and I'd quite like to just slowly plod through them. my kind of my kind of outlook on this year is, or trying to be, is it's a hobby.
Yeah.
Treat it as one. Don't treat it
Try
as...
and enjoy it.
Try and enjoy it.
Yeah.
Take your time. Yeah, it took me 6 months to do that ogre spearhead. Doesn't matter. I've got a spearhead painted. You know, Darren's got his Seraphim. My other friends have got his Stormcast and Skaven. I've got people I can play. Don't need to rush it. Wait till I get into the old world this year. That's the problem. Wait till if Gary's like, yeah, I've got the old world. You're going to get into it then? Oh, shit. Yeah, I've painted 500 orcs. But no, I don't really want to kind of tie myself down with any particular hobby project this year. I just kind of take it a bit more laid back, I think.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Let's see how it goes. Probably not as well as we're hoping, but never does.
Yeah, but I think the taking it less seriously is definitely a good move. Kind of just have fun. Like when I was building this board and all the little bits of terrain and stuff like that, I was having a great time.
Yeah,
I was like, "Oh, this is really fun."
It sounds
like I've almost forgotten.
Yeah, it sounds corny, but that's kind of the point. Because I was, again, you saying that, I was painting some Arcworld the other day, my Undead, finishing them off, and I was like, I haven't painted these for about 3 months because of other things. And just finished them off, I was like, this is great. These are great models.
Yeah.
I love painting these. Why have I not finished them? It's that kind of, like you said, it's that kind of realisation. But yeah, let's see how the year goes, shall we?
Yeah, yeah, that's the plan.
Yeah,
but yeah, and obviously, yeah, various bits of content and shows that we want to go to, and but yeah, in terms of actually painting, I think it's going to be quite focused.
I'd like to think it's going to be focused on less things this year.
Yeah,
top of my head, like I said, Spearhead, Arcworld. Yeah. Maybe Legion if they do re-release Legion completely this year, but I don't think the core set's even due out this year. So,
well, last year we don't want to start any new systems.
No,
and we worked out that we started Shatterpoint.
Yeah,
which wasn't on our radar. Moonstone.
Yeah,
which we never really started, but we've
got some war bands, but it's never really gone anywhere. Warcry we tried. Kill Team. You bought a Kill Team? I did, and sold it instantly.
Completely forgot about that.
That's how quick I had it. I bought it, and I was like, why have you bought... it was one of those impulse buys. I bought it, I've got a Kill Team. Literally opened it, got it out of the box and thought, why have I got this? One of those. Didn't even register. That's how kind of flash in the pan it was. Anyway, moving on.
Yeah, I can't remember whether I was going to...
You were.
I nearly got a Kill Team.
I think you were going to get one. I was like, don't bother, I'm going to get rid of it. I don't know why I've got this. Oh, God. So, I mean, these are pointless because we're not going to stick to it, are we? Well, I like to think we will this year.
Well, I'm trying to think what... It would be interesting to know, I want to talk to the me in 12 months and be like, what? I'm interested in new systems because it's not a bad thing.
No.
I think like I always want to be pulled into a new system. But I can't see on the horizon what they would be. Whereas if you looked back, we probably could have predicted Shatterpoint potentially.
Yes.
Lord of the Rings. Yeah. Or there are things or Moonstone. We knew of it. We
played Old World at the time was new, and are we going to get it? But obviously we haven't.
Yeah.
But...
Whereas this is more like I feel like we're older and wiser. We're getting slowly wiser.
Yeah.
As the years go on.
Yeah.
But
no, for me, if I could come 12 months from now, if I could turn around and say, last year all I did was Spearhead, Arcworld, and a bit of bolt action, I'd be over the moon with that. But yeah, that's fine.
Is Trench Crusade?
No, don't think so.
Turnip 28?
No, I've tried that before. It doesn't really. It's cool, but no.
Yeah, trying to just think of any.
Just try the niche games.
Any sort of hurdles.
Don't think so. Ask me in 12 months.
Blood Bowl.
No.
What? How can you say that?
Nah, how dare you?
You've tried to get me into Blood Bowl about 10 times.
Yeah, look what we are. No, how stupid.
Not interested at all.
Not interested at all. Where's the old world?
And it's time for...
Oh no, the first one of the year. I just realised.
Yeah, you said you were gonna quit. I need a new podcast host.
Oh yeah, you do. Where's Rex? He can come
Co-host.
do it.
So, it's that time. Sprue or Bowls?
God. First one of the year.
It's better when we got a guess because at least they laugh.
Yeah, it's not funny.
Sort of
I'm not
pity
gonna
laugh.
Yeah. It's a massive pity laugh. None of them like that. They're like, fucking hell, how tragic. But they can't say it to you.
It's nearly over.
Yeah, come on. We know we're near the end when this bit comes up.
So, you should always stick to your hobby goals. Sprue or false?
Should always stick to your hobby goals. Well, after considering what we've just spoke about, I think that's kind of surely that's got to be false, isn't it?
I don't know though, because I feel like we aren't. Normally, we're quite hard on ourselves, but I think we look at our goals and then look what we've actually done.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a bad thing that we didn't stick to them.
No.
You know, I think. I suppose it depends how important they are to you.
I think it depends as well on certain, like the combat patrol, for instance. Yeah, we're going to do it, 20, 40K and all that. But should you stick to a hobby goal for the detriment of your enjoyment in the hobby? So what I mean is yeah, you said you do it, but you don't like the game.
Yeah.
You don't want to play it.
You're just brute forcing it.
You're just forcing yourself through the pain to, I did it. Yeah, but... Yeah, so maybe it's not as false as I thought. Maybe don't know. It's a hard one.
I'd say it was true with a caveat.
What's the caveat?
Well, I think you should stick to your hobby goals, but with the caveat of
not to the detriment.
Not when it's getting you down and I really said I would do this
and you're not enjoying it. You're sitting. It's a hobby. So at the end of the day, you don't want to sit at the desk and be like, don't want to be doing this when. Well, don't then. It's meant to be for a pastime. It's meant to be enjoyable. Yeah, so true with a caveat, I suppose, then.
Yeah. Also, I think...
Sprue with a caveat. Sorry.
Sprue with a caveat. I think that sometimes setting goals, this applies more widely than the hobby, but setting a goal for a year is maybe the mistake.
Yes.
In that I think it's too long.
It is.
You've got too long to fail it.
Yeah.
So...
Live in the now, man.
Yeah, maybe it's a case of actually, I do have a yearly goal, but break it down.
Yeah, I think so.
So, I want
to
like have all the Saurus done by the end of Feb.
Yeah.
I want to have the Croxagors done by the end of March. It's kind of like, okay, that you're going quite slow. It's, but if I don't do that, none of them will be painted by June. So
I think you said it quite well previously, just a minute ago, about kind of don't think too far ahead. Kind of think about what you want to get done now rather than trying to plan out your year like we did last year. We want to do this and this and this. Right now, you want to do your Seraphim Spearhead and you'd love to get the gaming board done.
Yep.
They're done. Brilliant. Now what? Well, I'd like to do 2 bolt action armies, but rather than doing 2, I'll pick the British first.
Yeah.
I'll work on that. And then when that's done, maybe I'll get the Americans or the Germans or the Russian or you know what I mean? So I think that's probably a better way to do it. So
definitely, I think if you've got a couple of strong goals, and you sort of think, if you said to me, "Oh, what did you get up to this weekend? Did you get any Seraphim painted?" and I said, "No, but I've done loads of work to my board."
Oh yeah,
fine, because you're working towards one of the things that you want.
Definitely.
If it's like no,
but I went out and bought a Shatterpoint crew.
Yeah.
Like, what? But you didn't even say it wasn't even on the roof like I do. Yeah, I went and bought a kill team. What? So Sprue with a caveat.
Sprue with a caveat.
There we go.
Yeah.
Nice.
Right. That ends our broadcast day.
Yeah. Just us two this episode, I'm afraid. But hopefully next time we'll be able to rope in a guest to come and carry us through.
Yeah, someone to sort of
from
distract you.
The mediocrity of our inane babble.
Thanks for listening, watching, etc. And keep up with the content and hopefully your 2025 is as focused as ours will be.
Oh yeah, definitely. Follow along to see how many things we don't get achieved.
That's it, yeah. Keep an eye out for a Seraphim Spearhead not being painted
on eBay.
See ya.
See ya.